Hello, my name is Merin Anil. I am an art conservator working at the Art and Material Heritage Division of INTAC, New Delhi. Today, I would be discussing about the conservation project undertaken by INTAC for the collection owned by Museum of Christian Art in Old Goa. The Museum of Christian Art was established on 23rd January 1994 with the technical and financial assistance of Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, INTAC, New Delhi, and Calouste Gulbenkian Foundation, Portugal. This museum was inaugurated by President of India, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, during the 7th International Seminar on Indo-Portuguese History. The Museum of Christian Art now comprises around 200 pieces, including liturgical objects, vestments, and other textiles, paintings, sculptures, church furniture, and daily objects. This museum symbolizes an effort to showcase the richness of Indo-Portuguese Christian art from Goa. Most of the objects in the collection were donated by churches and some private collectors. There is an exquisite collection of textile objects, panel paintings, ivory objects, polychrome sculptures, and metal objects. In 2014, a team of conservators from ICI Delhi undertook the condition assessment of the entire collection and presented a detailed project report including the conservation treatment methodology. This image shows a sample of pre-conservation assessment report made in year 2014. Detailed project report was forwarded by the museum to the Ministry of Culture, and following a grant by the government, the museum invited INTAC to undertake the conservation and preservation of these most valuable art collection in this museum. Accordingly, in year 2018, a team of conservators went from Delhi Central Lab to Museum of Christian Art to commence the project. Two conservation trainees were selected from Goa for this project who worked under the guidance of the team from INTAC. Setting up a temporary lab space was the first task for the conservators. Hence, tables required for work and light stands were custom made on site and materials were procured. This was the temporary lab space at Museum of Christian Art. We had a temporary workspace within the 17th century Church of Santa Monica. This recently restored church, which is open to visitors, also serves as an extension of Museum of Christian Art for sacred music concerts, art exhibitions, lectures and workshops on art, heritage and conservation. These are images showing the area inside the church where temporary lab was also set up for work, considering the safety of the objects. The project was approved in 2018 and the team undertook the assessment again as there was a possibility of change in condition of the objects over the years. Hence, a detailed re-examination of each object was quite essential, along with documenting the present state of each object. Visual examination as well as detailed examination with the help of portable microscope was carried out. This is an ivory image of Jesus Christ. Upon examination with a portable microscope, it was noticed that both arms of the object was joined to the torso using an adhesive, which was a previous intervention. In this image, you can see that broken pieces of ivory are stuck within the joining areas embedded in the adhesive. Similarly, examination of a part on the crown having gilt layer revealed that there was partial loss of the gilt layer. You can see the result of examination under the portable microscope. The area with losses have been encircled in this image. Another important aspect was to record our findings with the help of a written documentation as shown in this image. As well as to maintain a documentation during our treatments, which is a second part of our written documentation sheet as shown in this image. The written documentation was followed with photographic documentation. This was done in all stages of conservation, before, during and after conservation. Graphical documentation was also carried out for objects which had extensive damages. For example, this is a processional lantern made in silver and also had glass on two sides of the object. The areas of damages were marked according to the deterioration, graphically as shown in the image. Yellow areas represent stains on the object. Red shows loss of material and green shows detachments. Starting with the conservation treatments, we have conserved around 200 objects in the time span of 10 months. Every object was different. Hence, their conservation needs were particularly unique to the object. Unfortunately, I won't be able to narrate every object's story, but I will try to outline a general course followed. But depending upon the object, steps and course may have varied. While dealing with organic objects, the greatest challenge is finding traces of insect or fungus damage on the object. Upon detailed examination, we found ourselves facing this challenge from an unsuspecting cabinet chest made in wood, looking perfectly alright from the outside. But on examination, we found live termites, which is marked in red circle in this image. Anti-termite solution was given immediately to the object as seen in the image at the bottom. This is the image of a wooden object inside a temporary fumigation chamber created by the conservators. Fumigation or anti-insect treatment becomes important as it helps in preventing the contamination from spreading to other healthy objects. Local consolidation was done for sensitive objects, like in the first case, a velvet fabric was shedding its piles. This is a processional banner. Similarly, in the image below of a polychrome wooden sculpture, the conservator is adding a consolidant with a brush to prevent the paint layer from flaking off. While these objects belong to the museum now, before that, some of them belonged to the churches in Goa and to private collectors. At times, they did have faulty interventions in form of overpaint or fillings damaging the object. Hence, mechanical cleaning was done not only with a soft brush to remove loosely bound dust, but also to remove coarse overfillings in some wooden object with faulty materials. Solvent cleaning was done on metal objects to remove adhesive residues, on textiles to minimize stains, on sculptures to remove overpaint, and on panel paintings to minimize the varnish layer. Another important treatment was restabilization. In this image, the limbs of the ivory Jesus Christ had separated. An acrylic dowel was inserted in the area where the previous joining of the limb was broken. It was fixed with an adhesive and the limbs were joined back to the torso. This is the image after conservation. In this case, the lower portion of the metal cross was broken and had openings on both the pieces. Hence, an acrylic dowel was custom made and was inserted to join the pieces together with the help of an adhesive. This is the image after conservation. This object is an altar decoration which had a decorative element detached from one side. A stainless steel dowel and adhesive was used to re-stabilize this object. The object after conservation. Loosely bound threads and embellishments were fixed back to the textile by darning them. This is the roof of a sedan chair. The sedan chair was used in the earlier times to transport people. It was a possibility that this object had frequent repairs. The fabric used on the roof was a later addition and was completely frayed, exposing the object to heavy dust accumulation. The cane weaving underneath the fabric, as you can see in the lower image, which is an inside view from the sedan chair of the roof, was damaged. The cane weaving was redone where there were losses and the roof was stabilized, as you can see in the image at the bottom. The object before and after conservation. This is a composite object known as Savior of the World. The body of baby Jesus is made of silver with enameling. It has a wooden base with a silver sheet covering it. However, we are going to focus on the vestment he is wearing. The vestment is made with velvet with intricate gold and silver zari embroidery. The fabric was in a very delicate condition, so it was removed from the body of the object. In this image, the inner lining, which is what we found originally on the object, was separated for treatment. Both the lining cloth and the velvet fabric was given lining. The embroidered details, which were loosely bound, were stitched back. These are the images of the object before conservation, the inner portion of the vestment after lining, the outer portion of the vestment after lining, and the image of the object after conservation. At times, along with restabilization, reintegration of losses to support the areas which we intend to stabilize also becomes important. Hence, filling materials become necessary. We always do testing of our filling material, which is a filler and a binder combination, before adding it to our object. The parameter which we generally follow are: the material should be closer to our object. It shouldn't be too stronger than the material of the object and shouldn't alter our object in any form. Moreover, the treatment which we give should be reversible. In this case, you can see the damages occurred on the body of the object with a previous intervention done on the body of this polychrome wooden object. This is an arms box. This object was heavily overpainted, hiding most of the beautiful designs under the overpaint. In the area marked with yellow circle, the wood was badly damaged. A white cement was used previously for repair, which was non-compatible with the wood, causing stress in the area. With filling removed, the filling underneath which we found was done with cloth. On the left side, we have the image of the object before conservation with heavy overpaints concealing the design underneath. On the right side, we have the object after conservation. This is a panel painting of Our Lady of Sorrows. This panel had a split occurring on the lower left bottom going across the lower center portion, which threatened to separate the panel into two pieces. This split happened because the sides were constrained inside the black wooden frame, and as the relative humidity fluctuates, expansion and contraction triggering movement within the wooden panel happens. Stressing on the weakest area, which was the area with the split, and hence causing it to grow further. Therefore, arresting this area was important. Wooden plugs were introduced at the back side of the panel to stop it from splitting further, and these tightly embedded wooden plugs are placed with their grain parallel to that of the board. The area with the split was filled in with an inert material and was minimized with colors. Moving on, in general, protective coating was given to most of the objects to shield them from dust and other pollutants in the environment, hence imparting long-term protection to these objects from the atmosphere. The previous case studies, in general, apply to all of the artworks which are present in the collection of Museum of Christian Art. And we have discussed the general treatments. And now we will see images of some of the objects before conservation and after conservation in the following slides. This is the before and after conservation images of Our Lady of Rosary, or also known as Our Lady with the Child. This is a very unique composite object as the body of Our Lady is made in wood, whereas the body of infant Jesus as well as the head and hand portion of Our Lady is made with ivory. This is the before and after conservation images of the Holy Trinity made in marble, representing the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is the before and after conservation images of a panel painting called as Our Lady of Seven Sorrows. This is the before and after conservation images of a textile object, processional standard, also known as Blessed Sacrament. This is the before and after conservation image of votive plaque of St. Francis Xavier in metal. This is the before and after conservation images of a polychrome sculpture of St. Sebastian. One of the important missions of Intact Conservation Institute is to provide museum personnel solutions and methods to care for their collection in a more effective manner in terms of storage and display. Also, training and capacity building of local resource persons. Keeping in mind this vision of Intact Conservation Institute, the team was able to successfully train 2 local members during this project, who would be resourceful for maintaining museum collection as well as in similar conservation projects in the future. The project started from July 2018 and was completed on April 2019. It is not an easy task to undertake a project on a site where a functional laboratory and conservation material and equipments are not at hand. We need to create basic lab facilities right from the scratch. It is difficult to arrange for specialized conservation materials used to aid conservation processes locally, to create an atmosphere which is safe for the conservator or to the object. It is also imperative that a place of living be arranged so that the team, which is stationed for a long time, is comfortable and does not face too much hardships. A lot of local support was provided by the museum personnel and other individuals, and I would like to thank everyone who helped us in this process. Thank you for your attention.